What is up, guys? Talking with Tonka, season 2, episode 6. We're on location today. Past to present vintage here in South Jersey. Is this still South Jersey where we're at?
Yes, 100. You're like South Jersey.
Yeah, South Jersey. I'm here with Joe, the owner and founder of Past to Present. Dude, thanks for sitting down and taking the time. I know you've been here all day, but I definitely appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For coming.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'm here to help. You know what I mean? And like, this was a perfect match because I'm amazed at the kind of stuff you find. Like when you post your reels of like your hauls, I'm like, how? How the heck did you do that? You know what I mean? So I definitely want to dive in like how you go about like your search and everything. But let's first and foremost introduce yourself and like how old you are and then what got you into clothing.
My name's Joe.
Yep.
Joe Vernacchio. I'm 31. I almost forgot for a second.
Yeah. When you get past 30, they kind of all just blur together.
I started thrifting or whatever, like getting into, I was always into clothing. Since I would say probably middle school when I started probably buying my own stuff was my like introduction into like kind of showing myself like through just like my own way of expressing myself. It was my way to express myself. Sneakers were really a big part of it. Once I was able to buy my own clothes, I didn't grow up with money, like just like most people.
Yeah, same. Yep.
So I got hand-me-downs, stuff like that. So my biggest thing was once I was always working, shoveled snow every season for us around here, like the kids I grew up with.
Yeah.
Summer, we mowed lawns. Fall, we raked leaves. Winter, we shoveled snow. Like,
you're a hustler.
We didn't have jobs yet. Dude, one year it didn't snow. We Christmas caroled and like it was bad. Like it was bad.
Not a singer then, I assume.
Not singers at all.
Yeah.
It just gave us like this just drive to, once you had your own set of money, $100 back then was a lot of money. You got $100 shoveling snow all day, went to the mall that next day, got off school a couple times. You know what I mean? It was just it really introduced me to expressing myself. I played basketball, I played sports. So that was just huge with stuff like that. Worked retail. So at 15, I got hired at Zoomies in the mall in Deffert. And from that point on, dude, I got into skate history and streetwear and that and sneakers, all of that. I've always said this too, and it's really cool. And I wish I was like vocal about stuff when I was super young, or podcasts were a thing back then. But I always said, man, because like I was a kid that hung out with everyone. Like my main group of friends in high school were like the jocks. Like I played sports my whole life: wrestled, baseball, basketball, football. We did it all.
Hockey. We talked about that earlier.
I did not play hockey. That is one sport. Soccer did not play. But my main sports were baseball and basketball. Yeah. And my group of friends were that. But like, dude, I was super into graffiti. I was super into hip hop. I was super into streetwear. I was super into skateboarding. So once I like worked at like Zoomies, I hung out with everyone. I was called a poser at some point. You know what I mean? Like, can't do this and go do that, dude.
Yeah, same.
Like, bro, I'm like, bro, myself, all this shit relates. Like, you're not realizing how much, like, your shoes are, I'm wearing Nike skateboarding sneakers and you're playing in Nike basketballs. Like, there's a correlation here.
Yeah, I used to get called a poser because I was a break dancer, but listen to the Offspring.
Exactly. Like,
so I'm like, just because I'm doing something hip hop doesn't mean my whole life has to revolve around hip hop.
I used to be super scared to express myself.
No,
and, like, talk about who I actually was. Like, I went through a lot of stuff like as a kid. Like, I mean, I don't get personal or nothing like that.
Yeah.
I buried my mom at 14 from drugs. My dad was never around. He was in jail my entire life. So like, my hustle comes from a lot of that too. So
because you had to,
of course.
Yeah.
No, I mean, my grandmother. Like, I mean, I didn't have like. I'm not saying I had like. I had food. I was able to survive.
Yeah.
But, like, I didn't have what I wanted. Like, you know what I mean? We were all kids. We all wanted stuff. And, like, I'm grateful as hell. Like, I wouldn't be here without that woman right now.
Yeah. Is she still with us?
Oh, yeah. She is. Yeah, dude. She's my life. Like, I should be around. Like, I'll start crying right now if I really get into it, dude. Because I really want to start spending more time with her. And, like, that's the thing with the store. Just got so into this. But I worked retail my whole life.
Yeah.
Getting into that really got me into retail sales, the science behind, working at Zoomies. They taught us a lot, and that really boosted me into like, there's science behind marketing, there's science behind retail sales, there's science behind all of this stuff, and it got me into that. And like, got into working into sports retail. I've worked with companies, and I designed hats. We did a bunch of stuff. Worked with Mitchell and Ness and a bunch of good big brands for the past. Right before I opened here, I was with them for almost 10 years.
Oh snap!
Yeah, actually, like was with them still while opening the store.
Oh snap!
COVID,
Okay.
like COVID hit. But I just was into that for like forever. 2015ish, my grandmom asked me to go to like Social Security with her up in Glassboro, which is a town not too far away, and I really didn't want to go, but she asked me to go with her, just take the ride, and sit in the car while she ran in. So while she ran in, there was a Goodwill next to it. It's like, let me just run into this place and go and see what they have. Never thought about going into a really Goodwill. I've been there before. I found like Huff shirts. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, Huff. Yeah.
At that time, dude, like I was selling those shirts $40 every day in Zoomies, and because I always worked retail, like my friends back were in high school and stuff, they used to call my house J Knox Closet, because like I worked retail, I would get discounts, so I'd buy all the cool stuff that we were selling, sell it to my homies. When I was done with it, I was cleaning shoes in my store porch for $5. Like I did it all, like whatever I could, but I was working with them. Oh, where was I going? I'm sorry.
You were out Mitchell and Ness for 10 years, and you were opening the store.
Yeah, so fuck, I totally forgot where I just.
Yeah, that happens.
Dude,
sometimes.
I always do that.
Yeah, yeah. It happens.
So Goodwill, I found those Huff shirts, and I was like, dude, we sell these for $40. They're $2. Bought them, sold them to my homies. Kept going to Goodwill after that, looking for newer stuff, cool stuff, Nike shoes. And then stumbled upon vintage, and then found a shirt I liked, looked it up, learned like, whoa, there's a market for like older things. Started watching videos and just really doing the research and hunkering down on vintage. Made an eBay, and that's really what woke me up. In like 2016, I made an eBay for vintage clothing and realized there was a market that wasn't just kids, it wasn't just people our age, it was everyone.
Literally.
It mattered. Like there's something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what really, like, eBay messages is what really made me fall in love with it, dude. Like I had like 80-year-old woman one day, like I don't know her exact age, but an older woman tell me like she had a concert. She bought a t-shirt from us from like the 90s, and it was like a concert that she went to, had the shirt, lost it, something like if you go through our Instagram, there's stories of all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And that really made me fall in love with it. Like
Yeah.
the story, I'm actually trying to start a YouTube or a podcast for a thing called The Story Behind It, where I want to get people like you or people in my vintage community, for the same reason you have me on here, to hear the stories of where this stuff comes from. It's not just me that does it. There's tons of people that do this, and there's tons of cool stories out there that should be shared.
Yeah.
Because there's a bigger value to vintage, in my opinion, than money.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes deeper than just a dollar bill. It's connections you make with people. We spoke about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like just the amount of, you said 3 names that I've known from other things.
Yeah.
Because of this.
Yeah.
So.
It's crazy, man. And like going through your Instagram and like seeing those stories. My producer today, my girlfriend Griselle, was talking to her on the way over. One of your stories is that Eagles hat. The backwards writing Eagles hat, right? So I wanted to touch on that kind of stuff too later, like as we go along in the episode, because I know this walking. I told you I was going to come in early, and I just wanted to poke around, right? And I'm looking through some of this stuff, and I'm like, man, me and my brother had this. I had that Bugs Bunny Taz shirt that you have on the wall. Like I had all this stuff, and it's just like it just amazes me that the quality is still great, one, and you told me you wash everything by yourself, which is amazing, because I always wondered that too, like how did, like, are you guys washing this stuff, or are you just like going to Goodwill and putting it on the shelf? You know what I mean? So I definitely want to get into the preparation and everything that you go through, but first I want the people to kind of learn about you, right? So now we got the background now, right? So you're in the streetwear now, because you're working at Zoomies, and then you're going in more corporate style and everything right now. Yeah. So like before you moved into here. So like when you're going out and you're looking for things, are you looking at trends, like what people are wearing right now, and stuff like that, when you're going into a Goodwill or any kind of thrifting market?
Great question. Because at first, no, not at all. Like I started this because of what I like.
Right.
Like at one point when you were shopping, like there's people that can just like talk, when I first started Instagram, and allowed certain people, once I got to know you, to come to my apartment and shop a rack in my 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
Literally in my living room.
That's love right there.
That turned in, that's why we're sitting here. Like that,
Yeah.
that few people that came there turned into me buying another one, but into a bigger apartment, into here.
Yeah.
Over the years. But at first, anything that you came in my apartment and could buy, 90% of it, I would wear it. Because dude, I didn't have money. Like, I had a good job, and like, don't get me wrong, but like, I moved out at 22, 23 to live on my own, had a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
Was not doing, you know what I mean? Like, you can be a manager of a store, and when you're on your own, paying your own car, paying your own shit, like,
bro, you're preaching to the choir.
It ain't easy, man. I learned just doing it.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was borrowing money off people every other week, because my pay weeks were hitting on opposite weeks of my rent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I couldn't risk like buying something that's like cool. Like, I'll at least wear it. Like, I know I can get the value out of it with that. Over the years, I mean, it's been a lot of that. Don't get me wrong. Not everything I would wear, but T-shirts were always what I was kind of known for. Like T-shirts. I love T-shirts. I love sweatshirts. Dude, I'm a business, and I'm learning that, over the years, trends have changed.
Dramatically. I'm wearing baggy jeans now.
Tragically.
I was wearing skinny jeans last season.
Yeah,
so.
like and that's, during, 3 years ago, T-shirts were what it was. I was selling shirts for prices you wouldn't believe. And don't get me wrong, there's still some that do that, but there's shirts in this store right now that I was selling for $500 that are now tagged at $50.
Yeah, it's just because the trend's different.
Like, and
the wave
during that time, a lot of people had more money. Like, there was a lot of, like, we opened during, I told her, I think you went into the back room, but we announced, like, our store, I announced my grand opening for the shop the day I announced my grand opening, for a week later, New Jersey announced 3 hours later they're shutting our state down a week later.
Fucking shit.
So, but it was during that time, and then people are getting extra checks, and once everything opened back up, dude, retail started going crazy, booming.
I know. During COVID, when I was getting those checks, I'm ordering spray paint.
Any shoe you want, whatever you want.
I'm buying spray paint online to do the graffiti I have in my house.
I love it. But now, I mean, it's not like that. I learned the hard way, dumping so much money into it, and then watching the trends fall, and taking losses on stuff, and learning the hard way through business, just like you do with life. Like, and it was a little like, I mean, I don't think anything was gonna be perfect. I know there was gonna be struggles, and every day's been a struggle, man. I said it a long time ago. It's not all smiles and T-shirts. Like, it's a lot of hard work that goes into it. My struggle is not being up to date with, I couldn't tell you what someone wore to the Grammys last night. I know the Grammys was last night because we have a local homie from Philly, Perry Shaw, who was nominated for a Grammy for his artwork, but that's the only reason I know it was they were last night. I couldn't tell you what something, like, that's my mistake. Like, for all I know, someone wore one of those 1950s, like, I just started carrying stuff of that nature. I used to pass on a lot of that stuff. That's the hot stuff now. Dude. That's what people want.
That's tough.
True, like, it's, older vintage, 40s, 50s, 60s.
I noticed that a lot of people are wearing that, like, 50s
call
style.
It textures. They don't want just a cotton shirt. You want a corduroy pant with a, it's nicer, dude. It's a nicer look. I dress the way I dress because I like it.
Yeah, facts.
I dress like baggy pants, like baggier hoodies, because it's comfortable. It's what I've worn, and I have the luxury to be able to do that. Yeah. We were going out to a nice dinner tonight. Don't get me wrong. I'd have something really nice on, but like,
you would have those
everyday style, like, exactly. I literally brought a pair of cords from my house that didn't fit me over the past, I've had them for a year. Brought them their pair of A-Life streetwear corduroy pants, but I know how to, like, my everyday wear, though, for what I'm doing, digging through clothes and dealing with people in the shop. Like, I want to be as comfortable as I possibly can.
Facts,
so I'm just going to wear what I like. What I collect. But now, like, it's about textures. It's about looking nicer than the average T-shirt can make you look. So
I guess in that aspect, because I can see the wall over here, You have like the Carhartt vest, and you have some like it looks like polo stuff, and you have the Gucci box, which is awesome. It was funny. Griselle pointed out an LL Bean jacket that she has was her mom's years ago. She pointed out you have a red one, which was like that's the coolest jacket I've ever seen. So like you having that is cool. But what I was getting at is like you have the dressier stuff. So if people are listening and they're into the textures and into doing layering, he has those options here.
Yes. Well, I just started it.
Yeah.
Not just started it, but over this year I've learned.
And I love the shelving because that's how my sneaker room looks, is with the pipes and the boards.
I wanted the whole. I mean, so the reason the whole store is not like that is, dude, I opened the store with $2,000 to my name.
Trust me, I know it's expensive.
And if I didn't make it, I was borrowing money again for rent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But if you ever want to do that again, I can show you the cheaper route that I went to make it look like that. And it was
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say this shit on camera.
I
think I paid $240.
All right, so you're on the same page as me. 'Cause I found the cheaper route to do it because I saw it on TikTok or whatever, and people are paying all this like stuff from like Home Depot.
I was gonna say I almost went to Home Depot and pieced it out myself. And
I went on Amazon.
Thousands, Amazon.com,
and it was like
120 a pop.
Right, that it was like
6 feet.
Yeah, it was like the weird steel too, like the cheap steel stuff. So I was
yeah.
No, it's just a KCP.
Oh, well, I did. So my buddy who put it up for me, he's like a contractor and
bet.
He was like, dude, these anchors they gave you are no bueno.
Yeah.
He went to the department store or to the hardware store and
bought
super industrial like hangers. So like the wood hangers, the dry hangers that you screw into.
Oh, got you. Yeah. Okay.
Like, and then like he was doing sit-ups off of it.
Oh, so
or like doing pull-ups off of it.
Straight.
It's like straight.
Yeah. Yeah, you're good. These things are pretty indestructible, but
definitely sturdy.
Yeah, for sure. And I was telling Joe before we started, I was like, I really want to invest in getting different stands, but I was like, these are more podcasty.
I like
it.
You know
what I mean? So
it's like a retro-y look.
Yeah, right. Just like your store, it fits the perfect aesthetic.
Exactly.
And I think one of the things not to get off the trends and everything, but it's like it's so funny as I sit here with you. You know, what I mean, your eyes like wander, right? Every time I look up, there's something else I find.
Man, you're going to make me... I'm struggling right now.
Okay.
And I'm not saying this as like, oh my God, but I'm in the point of my business ownership career where do I go? Do I want to go? So when I originally wanted to open, I loved the whole boutique-y sneaker store look, the clean display, one item plant. Awesome. Love it. Always liked it. I wanted to do like half the store like that. Dude, the amount of stuff I get in, the amount of stuff I find, the amount of stuff that I think is cool, I couldn't. And that's why you see the store as is.
Yeah, I love it. To be honest, I love it.
See,
you can adjust those if you need to.
I am right now. The one side I'm fixing is my hat.
Awesome hat too. For people that are listening on the streaming sites, he's wearing a sick. I think it says 1998
Calder Cup.
Yeah, the 1998 the championship for the Lehigh Phantoms now, but
when they were in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I don't know when they moved. I couldn't.
Yeah, but the Philadelphia Phantoms. That's when I used to go to games.
Yeah, they were like $8 a ticket.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
River Sharks for hockey.
Yeah,
so I can't lie. I guess I did watch hockey.
Yeah,
I wasn't paying attention.
But like, I understand. Like, you get so much stuff. It's probably overwhelming. Like my brother has all those NSYNC things. Like he has all those.
The reason those are up there is because like that's another thing. You can probably point out. There's a lot of stuff. Maybe like there's a Dolphins helmet up there. I don't know why it's up there. Someone probably gave it to us.
Yeah,
but
you have a
like
Raiders helmet.
NSYNC things are there because like my sister had those when I was growing up. Like that's a memory for me.
And like just growing up, and I was born in 1983. So like my brother was born in 81. So growing up, like we probably had this bed sheet because like I'm into everything I am into now because of my brother.
That's awesome.
Right. So my brother, I have big Voltron tattoo on my arm, and that I got that because of my brother. Because my brother, he's actually going to listen to this, and I don't think I've ever told him. I was into Voltron because of my brother.
That's so cool.
I was into Trans Z because of my brother. So like when I look at those, it reminds me of my brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I have a tattoo. My mom passed away 2010, so I have her astrology like star whatever
Yeah.
on my arm. You know what I mean? So when I look around this store, it just reminds me of my childhood. You know what I mean? Because my brother got me into all this stuff. He got me into wrestling. He got me into, well, obviously NSYNC because he looked like Joey Fatone. So it was like my actual brother was actually into wrestling. He was a wrestler in like the independent circuit for a little
That's
while.
awesome.
He went by Mikey Fat One or Joey Fat One.
Dude, I love
Yeah, but he spelled it Phatone. But like seeing that Bartman guy up there, I had that. So it's like, if you guys are in the South Jersey area, and it's not even far from Philly, it took me 21 minutes to get here in rush hour.
Yeah.
So that's nothing. So if you guys just even if you're not going to buy anything, just come over and look at the nostalgia in this store. Like,
yeah, you come say what's up.
Yeah, like Joe's a great guy. We talked for like an hour before we even started, which is great. And like just looking around, man, I can keep finding things that I didn't see, and I've been here in almost an hour and a half, but. I know this is what happens with Talking with Tonka. We go off on tangents and then we go into other things. But to jump back on track, just a reminder that this episode and every episode of Season 2 is fueled by Rainstorm. Sorry, Rain, I'm really getting in the moment of saying that in the beginning and the end, but I'll throw it in there now. But you're trying a Rainstorm. You actually like it, right?
I did like it.
Yeah,
I'm not a big energy drink person.
Yeah, me either, really. But actually, I'm lying. Yes, I am. But I love energy drinks.
I'm a coffee. Very big.
Black coffee or...
A little bit of cream and sugar.
Yeah.
With a shot of espresso, though. So.
See, I like espresso martinis. So would I like espresso in my coffee?
I mean, I
know there's no alcohol.
Very, very strong coffee.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a concentrate.
Because I've went from the cream and sugar, and now I can drink it black with like a little bit of sugar-free vanilla in it.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about trying it.
You'll be okay.
Yeah. But just to jump back into the vintage scene. All right, you were with your grandma on the Social Security. You jump into this Goodwill, right? And you're looking through stuff, and you're posting on eBay, and you're seeing the market, right? So when was that triggering moment where you're like, all right, this is it. I'm gonna open my own shop. You know what I mean? And what brought me to what made me follow your page from the rip? I think I've been following you like 2 years now. Is because of the logo. I'm a big Back to the Future nerd. I'm surprised I don't have a DeLorean or something tattooed on me, if I'm being completely honest.
I love that.
All this is the stuff I grew up in there protecting Philadelphia, so I have to figure out how I put something Back to the Future. I want to get the flux capacitor. I always had the idea of getting a flux capacitor like over my heart, but I don't know if that would make sense. But my heart doesn't make time travel possible. But when I saw your logo, I was like, I'm going to get along with this guy, right? And then I said to Griselle earlier, you were listening to pop punk during your thing, so I was like, maybe he likes pop punk music. I think that we just become best friends.
Oh, I can't lie. The pop punk was my guy here.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
I've vintage to that.
Yeah.
My mom was big. Like I remember when I was younger, she was big like Metallica, Meatloaf, and she was big rock music. I grew up strictly rap, hip hop,
KRS-One stuff.
When I was like, I didn't get into that. Like I was born in '92, so
okay,
I got into KRS. You wanna know how I got introduced to KRS-One? Get Rich or Die Trying.
Okay, yeah.
In that movie, he's rapping
to KRS-One records
in a mirror, and it was like, whoa, what is that? And it really put me on to like 80s hip hop and like the culture.
Yeah, so you were like more, the mainstream early 90s.
Very big. Yeah, of course. That was your 50 Cent, your early 2000s.
Was that
Get Rich or Die Trying 04 or 05.
I'm saying the Blueprint Jay-Z album was out around then.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Blueprint? What, Parking Lot Pimpin' was my song.
God.
My brother had an 87 Grand Prix with two like humongous subs in the trunk. That thing he rattled his taillights loose in that car with that song. I love that song. Parking Lot Pimpin' was my favorite song.
I'll never forget the one year it like snowed and if we knew snow was coming the next day. I can't believe it. I saw like people posting online the other day, like, announcing a day earlier that kids are off from school when there's not even a flurry outside.
Well, they don't even get off now. They have this virtual learning shit. So they don't even get snow days anymore.
I think around here, these kids had off.
Oh, really?
They were announced off.
Not in Philly.
If they said right now 6 inches is coming tomorrow, these kids were announced off today on Facebook. I'm like, I was up at 5 a.m.
listening to the radio,
waiting for the news to post my school.
We had to listen
the
on
second that happened, we were like hyping out the door. Like
me and my brother were hooked on the radio, waiting. And then if like our number was like 702, we would tune in. It would be
just wait for it.
It would be in the 800s. Like, damn, we missed it.
Oh, damn.
We had to wait around for the next hour, like for it to come back on, and we were like almost going to be late to school. So this is what I'm saying. This is what we were talking earlier. We were like, I don't think we're gonna talk for 2 hours. This is
No,
what
we
happens.
definitely
Yeah.
will. But the one year I was young as hell, and I woke up, and I don't know what year it was. Jay-Z did like a documentary, or like it's like an hour-long video he did with like HBO where he like shoots behind the scenes. And my aunt had that play, and while she's like waiting for the schools to line up, and that's what I'm sitting and watching at the age of like 10. Like, that, you know what I mean? So my introduction to hip hop was just, it was what I liked. It related to a lot of how I felt. I feel like, you know, with just anger, I guess you can say, and like you don't realize how angry a lot of those dudes are, and it comes out in that. So like,
to be honest, people, it's subconscious, but like a lot of people relate to music out of subconscious. So they listen to words and lyrics of a song and they just connect with it, and you don't even know why until you actually read the lyrics, and then it makes sense.
Oh yeah, and there's just something I've always said, and like people ask me like, oh, is that song good? Or like, oh, like, is this a good song? It's like, yo, did that song make you feel a type of way?
Yeah.
Happy, sad? Did you cry? Did you feel angry after it? Did you want to throw it? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If it did something to you, I believe it was a good song because that artist did his job.
Right.
Or their job.
Amen.
Her job.
Yeah, and that's why people listen back to Linkin Park albums now, and they, you know, Chester, God, you know, rest in peace. You would listen to his songs, and you could hear the pain in his voice. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like the people can relate to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But just to jump back on track now.
You're good.
We derailed for a little bit. Now we're hitting the switch, getting back on the track.
Oh, I forget there's a camera over there.
Yeah, there's a camera here and there's a camera here. This is the group shot of your beautiful thing, a beautiful wall of Gumby. Also another tattoo I should have. Who's the military guy?
Dude, Small Soldiers.
That's what it was.
Come
okay,
on, that's my favorite movie.
I'm just thinking.
No, you're okay. That's it's he's fighting the Gorgonite.
Yeah, now I remember.
Two dudes.
As soon as you said it, Small Soldiers,
dude,
that movie. Yeah, that's wild. But so, you know, like I said, you were in the corporate world and you were talking about you jumping into doing this, and like, what was that triggering moment when you were like, I got to do it. I'm doing it. I'm jumping in.
So there was one with, dude, every day working how I worked, you know, as a manager or district manager of multiple stores and buyer and doing all these things. You're working 40 plus hours a week for a salary usually. You know, if you work a salary and you break, like, no matter what, break it down, you work an hourly wage.
Oh, yeah.
If you average an hourly, you work a year. And if you break that down, you have an hourly wage.
Yeah.
There was one time where I broke down my hourly wage. And it's like I had sales associates almost making the same amount as me with their commissions, if not more. I wasn't making commissions as what I was doing. So I told myself that I would leave. I could get done work after working an 8-hour shift. Go sell a pair of shoes I bought off of Craigslist. Because that's how I flipped a lot of sneakers. My early sneaker flipping was with Craigslist.
Yeah.
I could, I'd buy a pair of Jordan 12s 5 miles away from my house at 17, just got my license. Buy a pair of Jordan 12s at 5 miles away for $50-$60. Take them home, clean them. 3 hours later, post them back on Craigslist or another site.
Flip them.
Have them the next day I'm at work, and after my 8-hour shift, during it, texting someone out buying them. Meet with them after my 8-hour shift and flip them for 120 to 150.
Damn.
So I broke down the one day. I literally told someone this the other day. So I broke down I broke down the hourly. Like, it took me 30 minutes to drive to get those sneakers. It took me 30 minutes to drive back home. It took me 10 minutes to clean them, another 10 minutes to list them, and another 15 minutes to meet this dude at Deptford Mall. Because I would usually meet people at the mall anyway, and because I worked there. So really I was there. My profit was $100. So I just went from making, my company values me at $13 an hour, but I just proved to myself I make $100 an hour.
Yeah.
Why am I not doing it every day?
Yeah.
Now, was that the time where I jumped and went and opened my own store? Hell no. Scared as hell. Just couldn't do it. But kept telling myself and kept telling myself and kept telling myself and kept telling myself, and you're worth more and you can work harder and grind harder. And I kept doing that. Once I got onto eBay and introduced to eBay and really started grinding, working 8 hours a day, going thrifting in between. I would go thrifting before work, on my lunch break, and after work. At this time, Goodwills were open till 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'd be there till 9 o'clock. Come home, list on eBay until 3 in the morning. go to sleep, wake up at 6 a.m. and do it all over again.
Damn.
Every day. Like, there was a podcast I watched at that time.
Yeah.
That like really made me do that. It was Gary V.
Yeah.
He straight said
he's the real one, man.
Dude, it was like 10 years ago, 8 to 10 years ago. I was never a big gamer, but always had a game system and played like campaign modes.
Yeah, yeah.
I was literally playing a game, listening to a podcast on like Facebook or him talk.
Yeah.
And he said, people are complaining about not being able to pay their bills and not do all this stuff, but watching football and playing video games when they're done work instead of working on something that they're good at to make money.
Yeah.
I sold my fucking PlayStation the next day. Sorry, I'm not supposed to curse, I feel.
No, you can curse.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, you can curse for the next couple weeks.
Okay, cool. I sold my PlayStation the next day and really hunkered down.
She gets on me all the time about it because I'll be on Call of Duty till like 4 a.m. with my friends.
Dude, so what I did is probably like the way I hunkered down on that is not great because granted it got me to where I'm at right now. I'm struggling getting out of it, falling. Like I don't give myself as much relaxation time as I should. I don't give myself as much downtime as I should.
Well, that's why you're grinding hard now.
Yeah.
So you can relax later.
But that's the thing. And like I keep telling myself that, but it's like it makes you, I don't know, like you brought up my grandmother earlier and I you know what I mean? I see her once a week when I should feel like,
how old is she?
Just turned 73.
Yeah. So I have a dad. He just turned 92. My dad's 92. So like I feel the same way.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's like so. What I if I can give you any advice at all is if you do have a couple minutes, just shoot her a ring, drop her a line.
Well, dude, I get my mail. Like I can have my mail sent here. I can have my mail sent to my apartment. I strictly still have my mail sent to her house to like no matter what I have. Like there's no reason to not. You have to go there. Like
yeah.
And it's like sounds stupid. And it's
no, because I have a savings bank.
I'm so big in like I'll go there and get my whatever next week, and I won't. So I made sure, like, when I'm waiting, like, I have to pick up my packages. So.
Yeah. So I have the same thing. My savings bank is around the corner from my dad, and I keep it that way. I don't have a debit card for that thing, nothing. Yeah. And, like, I had to physically go there to get the money out, right? So I do that so I can go spend time with my dad. I keep my truck at my dad's house so I can go work on it there. So, like, we have those vices that give us the reason, right? So now you have that reason. So at least you're checking in, once a week, you know 100%. What I mean? Which is great. So like the one thing I could say, if I could say, give you any advice that's coming from, someone and kind of the same situation, you lost a parent and you only have that one left. Like, well, someone that took care of you. Yeah. Is just drop them a line when you can. When you get a free minute, 10 minutes in the car, that mean the world to them. You know what I mean? But that's awesome though that you still you'd wind up doing those kind of things because it's the little things that matter in life, you know what I mean? So when was the day when did you open here?
June 15th, like actually open?
Yes.
June 15th.
What year?
2020.
So you've been in this location
like the day New Jersey. So I still worked.
I remember you said that the day Jersey.
No, well, that was February. That was March. I bought the storefront, not bought, but I started renting the storefront in February.
Okay.
Built it for the month.
With $2,000, you said?
Bro, that's why I got this storefront because it was slot walled. I can give I've told the whole story.
Yeah.
We looked at this. This location was only available through a realtor. My realtor had found it. I had already previously looked at a location a couple blocks away. I talked to someone told me about before. Because that day was like a real big wake up, and these people ghosted my realtor out of nowhere, and 2 weeks went by, and I was waiting. Main reason, what I'm trying to say is, I wanted this storefront because slot wall was already in here.
So it's one thing.
I worked retail, and I ran multiple retail stores. I had access to all of this stuff, where I knew I could get wholesale access to all of this stuff. I probably thanked them before, but my old boss, I called him one day. I was like, yo, can you tell me the wholesale website for our slot walls and stuff? As I was trying to build out the store, he's like, dude, go to every one of your stores and just take what you need. And they pretty much gave me this stuff, dude. Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Trying to really help me out, dude.
Sound like it was a real one, a boss.
Super, yeah. Even the owners of the company, super great people. Pro Image Sports, they're local. They have them in Philly. They're all over here. They're all owned by the same people for the most part. Great guys. Just really helped me with doing
Yeah.
that. That's why I wanted this store, because I was able to just build it out.
That's one less thing you have to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was telling her earlier, like, dude, scroll down. Like, go look at the Instagram. Go on Google. Make it easier. Don't scroll through 2,000 pictures on Instagram.
Yeah.
Go on Google and look at the images, and like just scroll down like 20 images, because I never updated those over the years, and I didn't know I was like supposed to. I thought like it would.
It did it automatically.
Yeah, like it would take them from my Instagram or something.
Yeah.
Like if you look at like the first few, it's like, dude, I used to have a DX Triple H cutout back there, and like, but it was just like Triple H, a metal rack, and like a metal rack. It was as best as I could.
Right.
At that time, nobody was doing this. Like there wasn't a vintage store in South Jersey. There was nobody around here doing it, and that was my biggest thing. I wanted to just bring what I loved to where I loved, or where I'm from at least. Yeah. And to the Philadelphia area, of course.
Right.
Like,
so that's kind of what I'm kind of doing, showcasing small businesses and wanting people to know what's behind it. Right. So this is your way of giving back to the community. Yeah. Because this is what's going to be a good segue into the story. It was a recent story you posted on your Instagram. Sorry, I'm really froggy today. I don't know what's going on. I didn't talk at all yesterday.
You got a water, right? Did we?
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's I don't think that's going to help, unfortunately. That's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't think I talked enough yesterday. So I scrolled down your Instagram. That's what I like to do with some of the small businesses, to kind of see,
of course, like
more about the person before I come talk to them, right? And I saw this cool story that, just in case you guys don't follow him on Instagram, it is Past to Present SJ, right? SJ, right. Yep. So you scroll down. This gentleman came in here, and he was looking for a Pacific Eagles hat, and he wanted to see if you had it, right?
Weirdest, like, situation, because I couldn't even, like, if you read it, touche, thank you for reading that.
Oh yeah, I read the whole thing.
Anybody that read that long post, thank you. That thing needed a real, and that was another wake up for me. I've had in my notes for over a year, the story behind it, YouTube, because like I need to start telling stuff and sharing my experiences over the years.
Let's talk after this. I definitely
I would love to talk with that. Yeah. I was gonna bring it up to you earlier. And I forgot. Yeah. But dude, the day, scratch that, you don't even know about it. It's the day, 2 days before Christmas Eve. I'm running all over storage, back and forth. I have a little antique booth. I'm running everywhere, dude. I cleaned out my car the one day because I was just so, like, I needed to get an order back there.
Yeah.
Under a bunch of stuff, I found a bag, like a duffel bag with crushed, beat up hats. And I buy beat hats. I buy every hat you see. Again, gets cleaned. We do our work to them.
Some of these Sunoco hats are crazy. My family owned a Sunoco store, so seeing these.
Don't let me forget that. Take one of those. There's a bunch of them in there.
Yeah.
You're good. I don't need them. I find this bag of hats, and it's Eagles a couple days before Christmas, so Eagles are still hot. It's crazy. And I bought this bag of hats probably 6 months ago. Couldn't tell you where they came from. Couldn't tell you who I bought them. Probably at the flea market one day. And just to clean up, and eventually I'll get to it. I have boxes of hats like that. Go through the bag real fast.
Yeah.
Pick out this Eagles hat, because that day I was like, I've never seen this. I'm going to keep it. Clean it for myself and keep it. That day, 6 months later, find it cleaning out my car and throw it on my front seat. I throw it on my front seat, leave it there, don't bring it inside that night. Next morning, running around, coming to the store. Right before me, literally walking in from the parking lot, 2 older gentlemen are walking in. I'm right behind them. The door's open for me. I was like, you guys don't have to shut that. I got it. Carrying a bag, come over, drop my bag, go into the back room and start doing my work. Door's open. Matt's at the register. They're walking around. I hear the gentleman ask Matt for a hat. Oh, it's an Eagles hat. And he's like, this and that. He's like, dude, I don't think it exists, though. Like, I'm telling you, I can't find it anywhere. But it was spelled backwards. I heard that, and I was like, there's no way. There's no way. And he kept talking. He's like, white with a green brim. And, dude, he's like, you know what? Maybe it doesn't exist. Like, it might not. And I walked out of the room right there. I was like, dude, give me 1 minute.
Yeah.
I went into my car. I came back in, and lo and behold, it was the hat he was looking for. He had it since he was a kid. He was telling us that story, and him and his buddy was in the store, and he asked his buddy, and it was the hat, man. And I ended up giving it to him, selling it to him. Yeah. For what I paid for it. Yeah. And it was really cool. Like,
so when you experience a moment like that, do you get like goosebumps when you hear?
Legitimately.
Yeah. Because I'm getting goosebumps like just thinking.
Sounds really like dude, I could cry sometimes. No. If I really thought about it. Like I did. So this hoodie I'm wearing, it's actually like I didn't wear it for this reason. this hoodie I'm wearing is a really good representation, and it really kept my, like, I don't want to say faith, but my spirits alive. This was right. I got this hoodie, so I traveled to Rhode Island for an event September 1st, a week before we did our Eagles drop. Like, it was, I knew that was go time. My birthday is August 30th. It was my birthday, Rhode Island, go time. Because once Eagles hit, it's running in the holiday, and I'm not stopping until right now.
Right.
So I went to Rhode Island. It was supposed to be a really good event for myself. I brought a bunch of stuff. Ended up going alone, doing the whole event by myself. It was not as well as I thought. I had a really bad trip. I got sick one night, horribly sick, like horrible. But I have my favorite artist in general is Obey or Shepard Fairey.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to school in Rhode Island. I have a huge original. So this is an Obey sweatshirt. But Giant is what it was called before Obey. Early 90s.
I didn't know that.
It was very, very first like printing company.
Yeah.
These, they're not easy to find. T-shirts aren't easy to find. Over the past like 10 years, I have been curating from all over the world his original shirts. So this year I was like, I'm going to bring this stuff up there, and I'm going to at least get a picture with this and, you know, maybe go to his school, talk to them. I had a really bad event. Got sick that night. Woke up after being sick, right after the event. Woke up at like 4 a.m, was so sick. Best part about Providence, it's college, city. Everything was open late. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go walk the city. I'm leaving tomorrow. Let me just make this trip worth it. I wanted to go see some of his murals. So I go and see some of his murals. Cool. So you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to go to Rhode Island School of Art, and I'm going to see if I can like take a picture there, or if they'll let me, just for Instagram, get some content.
Yeah.
I called them in the morning, and it was Labor Day weekend, and they're like, we would love that, and we would like to actually maybe discuss something further. We just can't this weekend. And I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. I'll just do it at the mural in my head. I checked out of my hotel, I packed my bag, and I started to drive to the mural that I was going to take the picture at. On my way there, I said, you know what, dude? I don't know why. You ever just get that voice in your head? It's like, just go to the school. Just like go there and see what's up. At least go see the artwork. So I turn around, I put my GPS in for the school, and I start driving to the school. Can't find parking on my way to the school. If you know me, dude, if I didn't want to be there and I can't find parking, I'm really probably just going to leave.
Same.
I don't know what, but I stayed. Kept driving around. And it's a hilly city. Driving. Finally find parking. I end up walking, you know, about a half a mile to the school. Took a cool picture of my hat out front. Start walking up these really, really, really long steps to enter into the art building. So it's like 30 steps, almost 90-degree angle. It's like on a mountain, I feel. Yeah. And then a platform where there's like a little parking lot for, I guess, staff. There's like pillars there. And then there's another about 25 steps. Well, there's people blocking those steps. I look to my right, just looking around, and I see this picture on the pillar, and it's like, weird, funky yard sale. It has an address on it for that date. Started at 12, and it was like 2 p.m. I put the address in. It was for like Warwick, or it was about 25 to 30 minutes north of Rhode Island. Mind you, I'm checked out of my hotel. I'm supposed to drive 7.5 hours back home. I don't know why, dude, but I went to that place. Long story short, dude, I found this hoodie there. The guy who was running the yard sale was a kid who used to skateboard back in that time when Shepard had his own company, and he had other stuff. He had things there that related to me and what it like that feeling of like I thought shirts could make me feel every type of way.
Yeah.
Mad, happy, sad, making money, losing money. Never in my life did I feel something bring back like my hope. And like, dude, I was like, I wanted to throw in the towel on events at that point.
Yeah.
I knew I was about to go into the hardest few months of my retail for the next half a year. I knew I was about to go into the hardest few months of it. And like, I did not want to go into it like that. And that day was like, dude, I drove home 7 hours and cried. Like, it was a surreal experience.
I think the universe it talks to you in certain ways.
No, and that's
that day, your world was telling you to keep going.
No, yeah, 100%. I truly believe that because I was at a point.
There was a reason why you didn't bring that Eagles hat in your house.
No, yeah, I believe in that.
Yeah,
dude, I truly do. Like, there's situations that happen like that all the time.
Yeah,
it's like I really believe in that. And
Yeah.
another reason I really opened the store wasn't so we can really sell people stuff. Like our eBay page is pretty, like I've been running it. Well, my employee now runs it, but it's been active for a while. We do well on there. I'm not saying we don't need the storefront, but
Yeah.
we do well enough on eBay to where I really opened the store because I wanted people to stop like giving this stuff away. Like you give
Yeah.
it to Goodwill, you give it to, all these places and donate it and sell it for $1. And
Trust me, I'm pissed.
I bet. And I hear that all the time, and it's okay.
I have nothing of worth value now. It's all pretty, newer stuff, but it's wild to see, just like walking around and like seeing so this is a great segue actually to my next question. How do you price vintage clothing?
I used to be able to like literally, you could bring me any shirt and I could tell you what it's worth off the rip. Because at one point the market was kind of, it's like I tell people it's like stock, dude. Like the market was here and it kind of laid where it was for a little bit. Recently it's tanked. There's shirts that I used to sell. I used to sell shirts for $300. Now they sell for $100. I used to sell shirts for $500. Now they sell for $50. Like it happens. Every single thing for the most part, we always look everything up. So there's a secondhand market for almost everything.
Yeah.
It might not be a vintage seller selling it. It might be just a person that has it or whatever. But in my opinion, there's stuff that like I could see something on eBay right now for $20, but I value it higher or I think it's worth more. So I'll go on eBay and buy it for $20, and now I control the market.
That's what I did with this jersey.
Like that's like
it's a blank, but I was like, this. I think I got it for $40.
Great, yeah.
It's a steal.
Yeah, it's a great price.
Authentic.
Sell them for 60 to 80.
Yeah,
all day.
I was like, I
think that's an authentic. Does it have a strap on it?
No, it doesn't have a strap. Okay. Because that's how you know it's actually.
That's like the three. Yeah, they're up there. Obviously, now you got a super steal.
Yeah, no.
But all day I saw that for $60 to $80.
Really?
Yeah.
So I did make it good because it was funny. We were talking about.
I grab one right now.
Yeah, no, you have a bunch of them. I was actually gonna look at that one coat you got. It was funny. We were talking about mutual friends earlier, and you did a post with Fletcher Cox, who I know, and I brought up Jerry Macklin, and you know how I got his jerseys? I got his because I bought the Iverson Eagles color. What are they questions? Or the answers.
Ooh. Dude, I just sold those this year. I sold a pair of those this year.
Yeah, so I have a pair of those, right? I'm a big Reebok guy. I'm actually wearing a pair of ventilators right now because they were big a couple years ago. And I was like, I got to find Macklin's draft jersey, the Reebok one with the heavy letters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I found it on eBay.
Awesome.
Got it for $17.
It's great.
Steal.
Such a steal.
Authentic, too. Like, the letters are so heavy. Like
I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's so heavy.
No, off of when I very, very, very first started. So I worked in a store that sold those.
Yeah.
So like you're talking Vic era, McCoy.
Yeah.
I had McCoy's rookie jersey number 29 authentic.
Snap,
I had crazy stuff because we did a signing with him when he first signed for us.
Oh, bet, yeah.
The one day we were sitting like years later, all of them are gone. My store in Defford still has like. Dude, we dumped money into those that year, and $300 authentic jerseys. Like we paid $150 for them, so
yeah,
we're sitting on a whole bunch of them. And he's like, Joe, every week just go down $20, $30 on them. To the point where they're at like $80. And I'm like, Prem, what do you want me to do with these? He's just like, I don't care. I said, I'll buy them a bunch off of you right now if you give them to me for like a stupid price. Ends up agreeing with me, gives me a bunch of them for a stupid price. Sold them at the fucking flea market, dude, for like $20 a piece. And I regret it to this day.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Because like they were just like...
Because the Reebok ones are so hard to come by.
They're so beautiful. Like, they were great jerseys.
Yeah. I found his, when they switched over to Nike too, I found his Nike one but that's just showing you the vintage market, right? Especially even with jerseys. It's wild.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, now
Shoes,
obviously
hats,
I'm buying it
jerseys.
off a regular person. It wasn't like a vintage shop, so they obviously didn't know what they had.
Well, that's the thing too, man, and that's where I'm like where I'm arguing myself. Like you just like I'm not mad at what you just said, but like I feel like I might have I lost a lot of people over the years because when I first started, it was like you could just tell like I wasn't very on being on Instagram at that time wasn't really the thing. Like for at least like what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like more vocal and reels are up there, but I lost again.
Yeah.
I keep losing.
So you're not mad at what I said about
I'm struggling with I used to just be a person that was finding cool stuff. It was Joe finding cool stuff. Yes, Past the Present was called Past the Present SJ. It's always been Past the Present SJ. But you could tell there was just one person behind it. And then I got a storefront. And now my posts go from, being at the flea market today to being in a store tomorrow to being at my house this weekend to being over here to being over there to store. No matter where I got the stuff, let's take it back to the store, get pictures there. Take it back to the store, get pictures there.
It makes sense.
To where it became, I feel, more uniform. And that's like a thing I'm starting to, where do I go organic? Where do I go, more, not commercial, but.
Well, you're almost 16,000 followers. That's an accomplishment.
It is, and I'm not taking from that.
That's huge. But that's where the uniformity comes in that you were talking about.
I know people who have been doing this a lot less time than us that have over 30,000 followers.
That's fine.
And it's not a shot to them because I know they're doing things differently than me, and it inspires me to learn different ways. I told you earlier, I'm learning how to do different things. I'm not trying to master anything. But I've learned my faults and where I've went wrong. And, having that podcast in my notes for a year didn't help me.
Right. But
talking about it and maybe putting it into motion, that's why I started making posts about it. And stuff like that. Just to convince myself, do this. That post got almost 500 likes, just as much as the Fletcher one when I first posted that.
Yeah.
That was
relatable.
And that's... I feel like I can relate with so many people in so many different ways and help people in different ways. And that's where I want to start getting more into sharing that.
This is your universe. It put me in your path now. Because now I want to help you with that. I think I'd actually want to collaborate on something like that.
Because
that just sounds a way of giving back to how I'm giving back to small business now. This is giving back to people.
Yeah.
Right? And obviously I'm giving back to people right now,
of course.
Obviously, but I'm talking more on a one-to-one basis, right? Yeah. So the other day, I think it was yesterday or this morning, you posted that Vikings coat, right? So, I'm a mutual friend now. Mutual is not the right word. I just became friends with Mosh, the sneaker customizer, Mosh.
Wow.
And I'm on his A list of buying sneakers from him now, but he's a big Vikings guy. And I was like, yo, I was just talking to him yesterday, and you posted the Vikings coat. I sent it to him this morning, and I'm like, dude, I'm meeting with this guy today. He's going to be on the podcast. Thought of you when I saw his coat. He's like, if I didn't have so many satin jackets, I would send you money for it right now. You know what I mean? Mosh, big Vikings fan, huge and great dude too. But it's just funny how relatable this stuff is. You posted the 49ers coat that's right behind you. My brother has that in his closet at home.
Love it.
Yeah, he has every one, Pro Line, Starter, all of them. I have Raiders ones, same way. I actually might bring them to you. So now I'm thinking about it. But
dude, you know where there's real Raiders hats? You have Los Angeles Raiders hats. You're talking 300, 400, 500.
Jesus.
The one easy, that's
I have
another
them.
thing. That's
My
where
dad's house.
that's where a lot of the hip. I'm not trying to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
That's where a lot of the culture comes into play. Is they didn't.
Come on.
That's a picture of somebody wearing something can make it worth more.
So perfect segue. As soon as Kanye wore, I think it was Kanye. Was it Kanye? Someone wore those ugly New Balance shoes that look like Air Force Ones. Someone wore them on stage, and sold out the next day. Yeah. It was Taylor Swift or somebody.
Yeah, dude, when I first opened, I'm a huge Nike SB guy.
Yeah.
So when we first opened, a lot of the shoes in here were OG Dunks. I had shelves up there, just all my old OG Dunks.
You would have
loved
loved
used
that,
and pre-owned.
You would have loved the Cut Simon store I was.
Yeah, well, I couldn't sell them for my life. Sitting here, people laughing at me. I lie to you not. I sell them wholesale to a homie sneaker shop. Month and a half to 2 months later, Travis wears. I had a pair of Newcastles up there at $100. Nobody wanted them, which was a stupid steal. I'd buy them right now over and over again for $100.
Yeah.
If I didn't have two pairs at the time, I wouldn't have. Yeah. Travis wore Newcastle Dunks. Next day, 7, 8, 9.
It's wild, dude.
Ridiculous.
Wild.
People asking me if I still had them from months ago.
Yeah, it's wild, man. And that's why, when I call my studio home the studio, because I have my wall of sneakers behind me.
I love that.
Yeah, appreciate that. There's a lot. I was COVID.
You said you're a big Reebok guy?
Yeah.
What about Shaq?
Oh, yeah, of course. But
Yeah.
I look so weird in Shaq Norris's shoes.
Can you fit a cutout? in your studio?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You see how I have the Jordan cutout behind me?
Yeah.
Can you fit a cutout?
Yeah.
All right. It's not here right now. I just took it out of here.
I have his Orlando Magic jersey at my house, my dad's
I have
house.
his Orlando Magic cutout of the Reebok pump.
Dude.
He's holding. It's either. I think it's the pumps. I'm pretty sure it's the
people
pumps.
hate on me all the time because I wear Reebok, Saucony, and now Mashi's runners, but I'm more of like in the runners and basketball shoes now.
Mm-hmm.
And he listens to the podcast too. You probably see him on Instagram, Sneaker Grandpa. He's like an older sneakerhead.
Mm-hmm.
Another friend of mine. He got me into Reebok, right? And this is probably where it's going to relate to your vintage stuff. And he got me into Reebok and Saucony's, like the collab stuff, right? So when the Reebok ventilator, these are probably 2012, 2013. It was like the 20th anniversary of the Reebok ventilator, right? So he got me to appreciate sneakers for the quality, how they're made, the textures, the detail.
That's why I love Diadora.
Right.
When I was younger.
Right. Diadora is another slept-on brand. I only have a couple pairs, but so this is where I think it translates to vintage because, the sewing was different back then. The colors use was different.
Quality of everything.
The heavy-duty cottons. And,
dude,
it's just something that doesn't happen anymore.
Go buy an authentic jersey from the store right
Trash.
now. It's screen printed.
Yeah. It's trash.
It's just a shame. And, people used to ask me in retail all the time, why, Nike, I'm not even lying to you. And I'm not knocking anybody. Don't even want to be talking about name brands. I don't need anybody coming at me. But,
no.
Dude, I watched it in the years. When Nike first took over the NFL contract, first jerseys that came out, I'll use the limited jersey as the example. The one you're wearing. Not the screen, not the authentic, but right in the middle.
Right.
It's your biggest retail jersey. It's a mid-stitch usually. I watched it go from 120 to 130 to 140 to 150 to now I don't even know where they're at.
Yeah.
And I watched the quality drop every year. Why did they do this? Why'd they do this?
When the Kelly Greens first came out, Jalen Hurts' number was crooked.
Yeah. They don't. Dude, I've had jerseys with names on backwards.
Yeah.
And, we send those back, but they don't. But the answer to why do they raise the price? Why do they raise the price? Because you're still in front of me buying it.
Yep.
And they know you're going to. So, you know what I mean?
That's why I think about vintage so much is back then, money was so people held on to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you really needed to make a product look a certain way and feel a certain way to make me justify spending this money. When the Reebok pumps first came out, my parents gave me so much pushback because they were like $120.
Yeah.
They were the most expensive shoe you could buy. One, because the number one player in the world was wearing them. And Shaq. Obviously, if you didn't know. That was a stupid statement. But they gave me so much pushback. I'm like, Mom, Dad, I'll clean them every day. I won't step in dog shit. I'll literally do everything I can to keep them nice. And I did. I kept them for the longest time until the soles fell off.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? But stuff back in the 90s and everything, everything I see in this store, I see the quality of the shirts and they still hold up because they're worth the money.
Yeah. I say it all the time.
It's wild.
That's why. I mean, there's a reason you're here. That's the thing. Yeah. They're still here. There's a reason that shirt's here 30, 20, 10, 15 years later.
Behind me, right, I guess what I'm looking at my right eye is that Jeff Gordon DuPont shirt. The colors on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking wild.
The stuff they did was ridiculous.
It's nutty, bro. You're not seeing two-sided printed shirts where it's going around the side anymore. You're not seeing
those are called all over print. In our world, it's called an all over print shirt. There's a print on the entire.
And you're not seeing that now.
And if you are, they're going to charge you probably the market on those have dropped a little bit. They were around 150 at one point. Now they're $60 to $100.
Yeah.
But go to a store right now, a printer, and try and have that done, and they'll cost you $80 to print it with that much material and that much ink. And then you're going to get a shirt that's going to wash out, fade. And I'm not knocking anybody. Trust me, I know great printers. I know people that can do it. But the quality there, the hardness, and just doing that, the effort that goes into it, the artwork that goes into it, it's not.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's not like that
and
anymore.
It's not something that people...
And unless you're using a high quality blank that's pre-shrunk, we did a couple, of our own shirts over the years. And the last thing we did this year for the Eagles, we used a pre-faded, pre-shrunk, a little oversized.
Was that the past, present
Well, that's coming
Emblem
out.
jersey?
No, those are coming.
jacket,
The hoodie and the crew
Yeah.
necks are coming out. I just haven't had time to get like a good photo shoot with them, but I did gift Fletcher one of those.
Yeah, I saw that. 'Cause that's
So,
tough.
That hoodie's coming out. There's a crew neck to that. There's a little something else that's coming out with it. But we did like a Jalen shirt this year,
Mhm.
and it's on the blank itself is $17 for a t-shirt.
What are you using? If you don't mind me asking the shirt.
I forget, these were on my hoodies are on Independent
Okay.
Trading Co. or Independent Style or something of that nature. They're really good.
So I was using
Jalen's.
I was using Comfort Colors for the longest.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're not bad.
But
There's vintage Comfort Colors.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
still around.
Yeah. I use them because I feel like the
They use good. Yeah,
quality is great.
they're good. Yeah,
The one thing I will say is I had to put a disclaimer on my website. So last summer I did I kind of remade my logo into the Stussy font, right? Where they're kind of tough. Like I love them. I like the people love the logo, and I like haven't came
one
off
of
of
my favorite brands, man.
Yeah.
But
I'm surprised. I'm usually wearing my kick-arounds or the Nike Air Max Stussy ones that came out last year.
My kick-arounds are the Spiridon Stussies.
Yeah, see,
three pairs of them.
yeah, they're
so funny.
yeah, it's such a great brand. But I did a whole T-shirt drop on Comfort Colors, and I put a disclaimer on my website: hang dry only, because when they shrink, they do shrink because they're 100% heavy duty cotton.
Yeah.
They will shrink.
No, 100%.
So here's a question for you. It's funny how we go off the rails, but I always kind of try to bring it back and relate it in a certain way. Do you have a disclaimer when you sell stuff in the store? Like when someone buys something, are you giving them a precaution?
I mean, not really. Everything, like, that's why, if you notice, I don't know if you looked how hard you looked at our tags. Like, our tags have measurements on the back of them.
I did.
So it says, like, your pit to pit to your length. And if it doesn't, we'll measure it right here for you.
Actually, can we do that before I leave?
So there is times, well, I always tell people to do this. Like, go get your favorite t-shirt at home.
Yeah.
Go find your favorite fitting shirt.
Yep.
Lay it completely flat on a table or the ground. Get tape measure. Completely flat. Go from pit to pit. Yours is going to be like 22 to 24.
You could probably eyeball people.
Length
right?
is going to be like 27 plus. Like,
yeah.
That's how you get your range. Okay,
Yeah.
my favorite fitting shirt's a 22 by 28. So a 23 by 29 is going to be a wee bit bigger. Because, like, dude, not everything has tags on it. Not everything. You could have a XL from 1983 and they're size smalls now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Disclaimer wise, like, there's certain products that definitely. I just sold a very, very, very expensive shirt the other day. One of the most expensive shirts still to this, a Nirvana, if you're like heart-shaped box shirt.
Yeah.
We sold it. I sold it once during, when we first opened. We sold this shirt for $4,000.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Trade value.
Just took my breath away. Jesus.
I'm not. Yeah. So even right now, so we sold it once for $4,000 in trade value. So I got cash and a trade, but it equivalated to over $4,000 actually. And then I bought another one over that year. Sold that one for $1,500 and $1,000 in trade, so that's $25,000. And then that was 3-4 years ago. I just recently, that kid who bought that second one sold me his entire collection. It was the biggest purchase I've ever done ever. It was a huge buyout, over 500 pieces. That shirt was in it again. Now here's the problem: shirts can go dry rot, so like black ink can get bad over the years and it can rip if it wasn't washed enough or if it wasn't. So this shirt was also partially eaten by rats. Mind you, I sold it for $2,500, partially eaten by rats. Whole rib cage showing, showing. Yeah. So, and it still to this day goes for, the last one I think sold probably for $25,000.
Holy shit.
So we got it back in the buyout. And I was at the point I want to get rid of it. We had it at like $2,000, trying to take offers. Sold it to a kid the other day. And I told him straight up, look, I've been telling people, like, it's partially like, dude, you rip hard enough in certain areas, it can rip. But like, I'll put that thing on right now. I'll tug, I'll do whatever you want. Videos of me trying to rip it. Like, it's not dry rotted. You know what I mean? I would never, my biggest thing I'll stand on, like, nobody can say I've done bad business. And I'll stand on it. My reputation means more than any dollar amount you can offer me.
Yeah.
My name means more than anything you can offer me.
That says a lot about your character.
I don't care about, granted, money means a lot, but you know how many times I have, you just bought a shirt off me online for $300 and then someone's like, yo, I'll give you $800 right now. Cancel that. No. Like, why? like for $500, that's gonna hurt. Like that's not.
Yeah, it's bad business.
And there's just tons of other examples of that. But I'm very big on just like what I stand on. I would never. My biggest thing here is I never ever want someone to leave that door unhappy.
Love
Like,
that.
and if you are unhappy, like you can DM us.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm one person.
Yeah.
And I do have a team here, but like we'll do our best. And I've worked customer service my whole life, and you know I've learned the customer's not always right, and there's definitely situations. But like, I have the biggest heart in the world, and like the last thing I'm trying to do is rip anybody off or hurt anybody, because like I know how bad people can hurt us just by words. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm a business. I'm not Joe Vernacchio anymore, and I'm in that part where it's like, how do I go from being a person to being the storefront page to it's a struggle, dude. I'm figuring it out every single day.
No, and that's what a lot of the small businesses I interview, they're always saying that they're learning something new every day, and it's a constant learning all the time. And it's also like a nurture, right? So if you don't have any kids, like this is your kid.
Oh, it's my
my
baby, dude.
Yeah,
it's everything I have. I built this. Like,
I
didn't go to college.
No one can take that from you, too. You remember that. No one could take that from you.
And I've had my moments in here, and sometimes I still don't feel like it's even fully hit me. Like it's weird, but we're almost 4 years in, dude.
That's fucking awesome.
4 years in June 15th, we opened our doors. So
that's what's up.
2020, and now
that's what's up. So I think this is another. I keep saying segue just because I feel like as you talk, man, it just keeps like this one thing about the podcast is like I do it very unscripted, right?
Yeah.
I do a little deep dive on Instagram and kind of get to know about the store or the business or the person, but I feel like you really can't learn about someone unless you talk to them, right? Because
100%.
So as we have a conversation, like I get to know more about the person. So like you're going. You said you used to buy things that you thought looked cool and you were cool.
Or related to me.
Right, or related to you.
Like I personally collect cartoon stuff because it's what my mom and I would watch when I was growing up.
Okay.
I collect Wizard of Oz t-shirts because it's my grandmother's favorite movie.
But that's that's relatable. I mean? Yeah, it's relatable content because there could be someone out there that's just thinking the same thing. I was scared shitless of those flying monkeys. So like, if you had a flying monkey Wizard of Oz t-shirt, I'd probably buy it because those things used to scare the shit out of me.
They're weird.
So this is where vintage is so relatable, right? So, what do you remember? Like what I remember you said it was the Huff stuff, but do you remember when you were in the thrifting? You were thrifting and you saw something that really reminded you of your childhood, the first time you picked something up and you were like, holy shit.
I'm sure there's 100 situations I can think of.
Any off the top of the head?
I'm just trying to think of something I found like in the wild, like myself, not like at an event or, I've definitely found cartoon TV.
I like how you say in the wild.
Like in the wild, in the trenches. Oh, dude, it became the trenches. Nah. I guess I hate talking about it because I probably talked about it on every show I've ever done, but there's a jacket behind you called, it's a starter jacket.
Yeah.
It's the Loud Records jacket. That's probably the jacket that spoke most to me no matter what. Like, related to my childhood, yeah, but like I can't lie, like when I first picked it up, I wasn't 100% sure until I saw the sleeve and was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
That jacket is a promo jacket for Loud Records, which if you don't know, Loud Records is, best way I can put it is like one of Wu-Tang's first, like the record label Wu-Tang was first signed to a lot of New York. They're still around, very big hip hop culture, very big history. That was like from the history of, I got a book back there I can pull out. It's called the Rap Tees book. I can pull that out. That different colorway of that jacket's in there, and it's a more common one that was like given to the street team. From like from the stuff I've researched, that jacket was like a one of one. It was given to a higher up in corporate. I found it from a lady at the flea market who holds her t-shirts for me. She used to buy out storage units, really older woman, super sweet woman, and she would hold her shirts for me. As I'd buy shirts every week, she was like, oh, I'll start like holding them for you, and I would have people at the flea do that still to this day. There's people went to the flea and don't think they have t-shirts, but they do. And then one day I was like, dude, mid-July, hot out, sweating, probably my second flea. I'm walking and she's like, oh, I have some shirts over there for you. I walk past a box with the sleeve of that sticking out and just see the starter logo in navy blue. I'm like, no Yankees jacket. Shirts. Keep going to the shirts. Of course I dropped that. Yeah. Keep going over to the shirts. And she didn't have anything that was good. But woman loses money almost every week if I like. For me to not buy those, it could lose her holding stuff for me.
Right. Yeah.
So
It could
instead
hurt
of
you
buying
longer.
those shirts that I didn't want, I was like, okay, I guess I'm buying the starter jacket.
Right.
Dude, I go pick up that jacket and it falls out the box, or next to it, a ball that says I Heart Hip Hop falls off of it. And I'm like, what is loud? Like, now, cool, I'm about to buy a bootleg jacket. And then I saw the sleeve. And like my stomach dropped. I picked up that little dodgeball and it said I Heart Hip Hop. And I'm like, this came from somewhere. Posted it, and over the years have tried to do some research, and I've gotten that far of just finding out, like, still haven't seen that colorway, still have yet. People have asked about it, but I were to meet Raekwon at a bottle signing in Talkin, and he like freaked out over it. So he signed it. It now has, bro, you could offer me, I want to say any amount of money for that jacket, and I'll probably tell you no.
Yeah, well, that's
Because
means something to you.
I'll make money. People need to realize money comes and goes.
Yeah.
It's out there. There's ways to get it. If you have a hustle, if you have a drive, you can go get it. Moments and like stuff like that is few and far between. And that's where, again, I'm learning every day. We learn from everybody we meet. And I'm learning like those. I'm more lucky for those little moments I've gotten for myself or have gotten to share with other people. I didn't get the chance to share this, but the story we spoke on earlier, the backwards hat, that man. Dude, he was from South Carolina, up here visiting for family for the holidays, leaving Christmas Eve. I come to find out after the Facebook post that it was a girl I went to high schools with, father-in-law.
Snap.
Like, what?
This world is so
weird
small,
is
man.
that, man?
This world we live in is very, very, very tiny.
No, 100%.
And so yeah, so I usually ask this question to a lot of businesses and people right around this hour mark. Where do you see? So it's gonna be a two-parter. Okay, so where do you see past the present vintage in 5 years? And then I want you to leave yourself out of it. Okay, where do you see the store and the culture of the store going in 5 years? And then I'm going to ask you, where do you see Joe in 5 years? So make sure you just keep yourself.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
I never want to, like, I don't ever want to shut the store down. You'll hear me jokingly talk like, oh, I'm done with this. I'm over it. We're all over what we do. Obviously. It's the hard part with the past few years. I've said it before, was making your hobby your life and your career. Dude, what used to be my freaking getaway from my stress and life became my stress and my life.
Yeah.
So going to the flea used to be for fun, and now going to the flea was work. And when I'm not finding stuff, it was a loss and a waste of a day. I had to really balance with that. I'd never want my store to shut down. I love it. I love it's things like this and like hearing people say like how the store makes them feel. Like I said, dude, I was struggling halfway through this of wanting to get rid of a lot of it and dumb it down, simplify it, make it cleaner and not an organized mess. But I wanted it also to look like your bedroom in the 90s.
Hit it nail on the head.
So you can walk in and feel that. I see this store at, like, no matter what, within the next few years, we'll probably have a bigger location. I've almost moved to the city a few times. I've looked into Manayunk. I've looked into a few places. I want to say we'll have a second store in the next 5 years. I don't like to just jump like that, though, and I don't like... My thing is, dude, I'm like not a perfectionist. I want this place to be run, and it's running solid, but I'm not comfortable with it yet to where I feel like I can fully step away from here and put my half and half into something else.
That's powerful, though.
Yeah, I mean, it
shows that you really care. You know, a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm making my money. Let me just go try something else. You want to make sure your baby, the one you're nurturing, is ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's
when your baby's 18 and you're ready to push them out of the house, you want to make sure they're right.
No, yeah. But I've learned, like, I'm not trying to make $1 million. I'm not trying to get rich, because this is where, like I said earlier, this is what I love. I'm grateful to be able to do what I love, be able to pay my bills, be able to, live a decent life. I have an okay car. I'm good, like, on my necessities. I'm not going on lavish vacations. I'm not doing nothing crazy. But do I want, bro, I said earlier, I want to start to relax a little bit. Dude, I have been working since I was 15, and that's on the books and for people.
Yeah.
And for myself, I would love, I've learned with eBay and learned with online stuff, there's ways to make money with putting in the work in the future. So, I can not come here for a week and I'm getting money no matter what. I can go take a vacation and get that. Do I feel comfortable doing it? No. But do I want to get to a point where I do? Damn right. I would love to. I'm buying property this year, so the store will always be here. And from here, 5 years from now, this store will be here. I hope so, maybe with a bigger location, if not a bigger location around here or a second location. If I open a second location, this store will be here always. Like, I love it. Like, I love the town. I love where I'm at. It's brought people to this place. It's brought people to the town. It's brought people to the area. Like you said, dude, I can get from Philly to here faster than I can get, like, your house to South Street.
Yeah.
Like, go find parking and stuff like that. And, like,
like I said, I got here in 20 minutes in traffic.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So that's nice.
I love where we're at. But myself, I want to buy property.
Yeah.
Personally. Like, I want to venture into other things. I've told myself, because I've looked into laundromats.
Huge.
Because of what I do.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe how much money I spend on laundry.
I bet it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I've genuinely looked into, like,
I've also done that as well, looking into laundromats as well.
Looking into residual income that makes its money over time.
And you don't even have to be there.
ATM machines, vending machines, just different ways to make money that you don't have to touch.
Yeah.
Like this table, my cousin's doing his little thing right now. He told me we need table and chairs. He has like his little rental car, like his little rental party business. So I texted him. I was like, yo, February 5th, drop me off table chairs out back of my store. Done. Was here yesterday.
Yeah. So this is what this is from? Yeah. I love that.
Cool part is, though, a year ago on Easter, he was struggling with his first business he tried starting. He's younger than me, dude. He's like my little brother. Like, you see him struggle, you're struggling. Like, he might not know that, but
yeah.
I just told him this for the first time. Like, Easter of last year, he was like, he was going through it, dude. He started his own woodshop business and crafting cool things, and he couldn't, like, I was trying to tell him without, like, breaking his heart. It's like, bro, when I can go to Michael's and buy what you just spent 6 hours making and you made mistakes, and I can buy like 75 clean cut ones that were made with a machine for half the price, dude. There's like, I'm not trying to kill you. And he learned it the hard way, and I'm glad, because he
have
learned.
to, yeah. You gotta let him learn.
He was struggling the one time, and he was, over Easter, he's like, I don't know what to do with this now. I'm thinking about this rental business. Thinking about this. Bro, I might have had like not much in my account after my bills at that moment. And I was like, yo, let's just go to Five Below real fast. Like, I was there the other day, and they had a bunch of, because he was talking about games and stuff. I was like, dude, they had like $10 cornhole boards and dumb stuff. I gave him this might not be this one, but my table for my events and stuff was in my grandma's basement, and that's where we were. My old 10x10 tent was in the back of this store. I was like, bro, I'll give it all to you. And my investment into him to be able to go do that. Dude, he turned that, a broken 10x10 tent, one table, chairs he bought at Walmart the next day, into a year later, he's 100 tables now doing his thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to get into the point where I can have this business. I can have a property. I still rent an apartment, so I want to buy a house.
Yeah.
Like, that's a plan.
I'd wait a couple years, but this market
here's
right
where
now, yeah.
I'm looking into duplexes.
Oh, smart.
So I'm going to buy, and like, I mean, people, it's easier said than done, and everybody knows this plan. And if you watch any realtor, you know this plan. Well, if you know, then like, it was impossible if I listened to everybody to open a store. It's impossible.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to do it. It's impossible. It's impossible. It's impossible. Until you look up how to make an LLC or how to get an LLC and how to do it, and then actually just go do it. So I'm looking into a duplex, and my plan is to buy a duplex, rent half of it out.
That pays the mortgage.
Person pays my mortgage. I get to save money and now invest into other stuff.
Smart.
So properties, other things. Just,
you definitely have that hustler mentality. So if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be you.
I try, man.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
I try to be myself.
That's a great answer. That's I couldn't even think of a question where you can say that. That was perfect. Just trying to be myself. That's something you look in the mirror every day, and it's like, who do you look back at? Use yourself, right? Yeah. So that's the only thing we can offer this world is be yourself and see what happens.
No, yeah.
Either you're going to like it, or you're not going to accept it. You know what I'm saying? So I always think about, during the podcast, where do I find the clip that's going to show the personality of this store? And I'm going to be honest, man, it's going to be hard. You said a lot of stuff in this podcast where I'm like, man, where is this clip going to come from?
I appreciate that.
So I can't wait to listen back to it and just find that one. I have an idea which one I want to use, but it's going to be impactful, right? And you said a lot of impactful things, so it's just like it's going to be hard. Just letting you know, it's going to be really hard.
That's awesome.
So let's talk about this tablecloth real quick. Where did you find this? Because this is amazing. The Ultimate Warrior, my favorite wrestler.
I've had this one.
Bushwhackers, like this is great.
We have had this one.
Big Boss Man.
This might have been my employee Matt, who's like my best friend, right hand. If you ever watch, he's on the Instagram sometimes. If you watch any of our other podcasts, he's on a couple of our other podcasts. But this might have been his. It might have been one he found. But I'm a huge wrestling guy. I love wrestling. Not 80s as much as 90s and Attitude Era, but this is just something like it's something I never got rid of because it speaks to us. And like a lot of my wrestling stuff I give to our homies over in Philly and stuff like that. Like we try to give them as support. I try to support as many people as I possibly can, dude. And,
that's what's up.
It's all about like scratching your back, over the connections, dude. Connections are huge, and building those connections and relationships with people is very big. So I tried to keep that like established in those relationships, but this is one that I had to keep and not let go.
It's great. I love it. I want to say, me and my brother had these bed sheets.
I love it. That's so cool.
And that's like, so when I know we're right around the hour 20 mark. So I just want to like when you're like, so you said you and your best friend Matt, he's like your right hand man, right? So do you guys have the same interest in vintage apparel?
Yes, I would say so. He's a real big guy, so it's not easy for him to find some stuff. But definitely, he was actually ended up like when I left Pro Image for a period of time before opening the store. He actually was my boss at Champs, and we became friends through that. And when I first went over to his house, dude, he had like OG shoes, like OG Pure Money 4s, like from his first year working at Champs and stuff like that. He was telling me all the stuff he had at home. So his mom would buy him like didn't matter favorite team or not. Like Bulls won the championship, he got the stuff on like the TV. He got the Packers. He said he still had it all. He worked security in Pittsburgh for Up in Smoke tours. Like, he had all the stuff I was selling at like his house. And then I introduced him. And he was going to the bar every week. He didn't have a lot. He was from Pittsburgh and was moved all over for Champs and stuff like that. And when he came out here, he really didn't have any friends and was just going to the bar and watching football. He loves football. Matt loves football. Going to the bar and watch football every weekend. So I was like, yo, Matt, come out with me to Flea this weekend. Matt came out to the Flea that weekend. People have heard this story before, but he watched me pick up a shirt for $1, and by the time we got home from the Flea that day, sell it for $150. So I physically turned a $1 bill into a digital $150 payment, bought us lunch, and he never not went to the Flea again.
That's amazing, man.
Because he already had the interest. He already knew what the stuff was. He already was looking for it and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's fucking wild. And I totally forgot are you the only child?
No, I have a sister.
You have a sister?
Yeah, older sister. 3 years and 4 days.
This is where we talk so much about different things.
No, you're good.
Making sure we
3 years and 4 days older than me.
So does she have any interest in clothes?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, she doesn't care for like
the vintage,
what I do, but like Eagle stuff and like obviously like what she likes, just the sports stuff, like NSYNC.
Yeah.
I have one of
That's
her.
Right, you did say
I have
that.
her Chris
Sorry about
Brown.
that.
Like she went to Chris Brown's concert in 2006. I have the original the shirt she bought in the parking lot.
Yeah, I apologize. You said they were my sisters.
No, dude, you're good. You're good.
But I definitely appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me today. I know you probably had a long day, so I really appreciate it. So go ahead and drop your socials real quick for everybody so they can follow you.
My Instagram's Past the Present SJ.
Okay.
In there's a link tree for our sales sites and stuff like that. That's really the only social I use.
Okay.
Like my personal, like again, dude, I'm here to promote my store. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
Myself is me, and the store is me. Like nobody runs my Instagram. You're talking to me. I answer every.
And I will.
Single
I
DM.
can justify that. He does answer pretty quick too.
I'll answer every DM. You're always talking to a real person. I will. That's one thing I've always said when I've opened a business is I will treat every single. Dude, I worked retail my whole life. I'll treat every single person as a customer because that's what they are to me. Not only that, though, they're not a dollar bill. They're a person, and I've learned that over the years. Relation is huge, and I'm just very big on treating people. I've just had pages not answer, and I've gotten people like, oh, like I didn't think you'd answer me or anything. Like I answer everybody. you're DMing, you're talking to me. The store's address is 127 Clements Ridge Road, Barrington, New Jersey. So we're here 7 days a week.
Yeah.
11 to 7 every single day besides Sunday, 12 to 6.
Yeah, I love that, man. And I feel like we could talk for hours because I have so many
literally, I
questions.
could all day.
So definitely, I think if I get more than, I don't know, 300 plays in the first week, we'll do a part 2.
All right,
How's that
let's go
sound?
round 2. We can
definitely do a round 2 because I definitely want to find out how you definitely get into this. But this has been episode. Oh, geez. 1, 2, 3. This is episode 6 of season 2.
Love it.
We're past the present vintage here in South Jersey. Thanks again, Joe, for sitting down with me. It means a lot.
Thank you. Seriously.
No, thank you. And this episode has been fueled by Rainstorm. Make sure you guys check us out on all the streaming platforms as everything is going to be out Thursday, 8 p.m. And then make sure you guys give him a follow on Instagram. And if you love vintage, this is where to go. It's 20 minutes from Philadelphia, so don't be afraid to jump in your car and get down here. I'm Tonka, your host. Follow at Talkin with Tonka on all the socials. We're here every Thursday at 8. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, and catch you next time. Peace.